And we're back.
And we're back. Welcome to the cavalry, everybody. What's up, Johnny?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Good to see you. I mean, a whole lot. Lots to talk about.
Lots to
That's a
talk
bad
about.
intro to a podcast.
Well, I'm back on the sailing the seven seas here, so if there's a little bit of choppiness, we apologize, but we're doing our best. Here's what I want to start with. My friend AJ Benaltaby listens to the podcast, and he sent in some suggestions. First of all, he said he loves the name. He doesn't want us to change the name, but if we were to, he sent in a few suggestions. Do you want to hear the suggestions from AJ?
I do, but before you read the suggestions, I also want to tell you that I was told today by a listener that was listening adamantly against changing the name.
Okay.
They like the name. They said it doesn't matter. Once it picks up and blasts off, it won't matter at all. But I do want to hear these suggestions.
Oh, once it picks up and blasts off. That's
yes.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'm excited for when it picks up and blasts off. I'm not sure.
Patience. Patience, my pet.
Good. My pet.
I thought I would pretend I was a Disney villain for a minute there.
I don't think I've ever heard an adult actually say that out loud in a human conversation. You're
Today's the day.
Kids movies. Patience, my pet. Do you want to hear these names or no?
Yeah.
We're not changing the name because let's think about what that would involve. I would have to do something with the RSS feed or whatever.
Let's just stop right there. That's all you need to say is I would have to do something.
Right.
And we all know that's just
it's all I can do. This once a week thing, it barely gets out. So, changing the name is an insurmountable task. But here we go. First of all, you'll like this first one. Here, the Carabiners. Because you support each other and your name is Beaner.
Ah, okay. You know what's funny is my sister's name is Carrie.
Her name's Carabiner?
Well, her name is Carrie Beaner, but yeah, so she's.
Yeah. Does she?
She handed out carabiners when she was running for student council and shit like that.
Did she really? That's genius.
I don't know if she really did, but she should have.
She missed opportunity. I don't like that one because it doesn't I'm not. You know what I mean? My name's not represented at all.
There's no Sleighter.
It's very heavy on the Beaner side and very light.
It's heavy. Yeah. It's heavy on the supporting each other and the Beaner side, but it's missing the Andrew aspect of it.
That'd be my chief complaint. It gets your sister in there quite a bit, but I don't know why that matters. Okay, and then there's Run It By Me, because I guess we say that a lot. And then you love running. Again, this is very Johnny. But the plus side of Run It By Me is it's easy. No one's going to misunderstand the spelling or confuse it with any sort of religious group. Okay. And then the last one is I Think We Did It, because I guess we say that a lot at the end. I think we did it. Again, at least that one's more neutral to the two of us, and it would be easy to spell. So
I like analyzing what we're meaning when we say I think we did it. Like I think we put in the bare minimum enough to call that an episode.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing subconsciously. We're telling ourselves that was enough. That justifies this entire price.
Yeah.
So
we gave him enough.
That's now I will say, AJ, thank you for your suggestions, but a lot of the point we're trying to get people to leave reviews So he has my number. He can just text me, which was very nice, and it was good to get in touch with him. But it does not help the engagement of the show. I feel like our listeners are hell bent on keeping this a small, family sized podcast. They do not have any interest in it. I don't know, I forget how you said, but exploding and taking off.
Yeah. It's like you want to be able to say, hey, we were country before country was cool. Once we do explode and become mainstream, our current listeners are going to be like, they fucking sold out. They used to be good.
Exactly.
And now, yeah. So we're keeping it right now. It's just
I
die hard.
And let me tell you something. Selling out sounds pretty good. Sign me up.
Yeah, that's actually what we're striving for.
I could not. If someone could just point me to the lane to sell out. If I'm waiting in the wrong line to sell out, I would like to know now, so I could switch lines.
You know, we could be. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is post-show banter talk, but I don't know what our numbers are. We could be doing significantly better than we lead on. I think that's part of our gag is that
It must be nice.
You know what? It's endearing.
It must be nice for you to live in that ignorance. But as the guy who posts, who posts the show, I'm pretty aware of the numbers. Lots of room for growth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's new? So where are you? Where are you headed?
Alaska, back in Alaska. It's beautiful, of course. It's a little colder. It's okay. The week is going fine, but I will say I'm very excited because my wife and daughter are coming on with me next week. So I'm really just looking forward to that.
Awesome.
I'm trying to but so I was like kind of excited because like there's daycare. It's very a kid friendly ship, Norwegian. They like have a lot of kids on here, and I was like, oh, this is great. There's like a little daycare. There's like a kids pool area. There's all sorts of stuff for kids to do. But it's all 3 and over. They don't want anybody under. So she's 2.
Yeah.
She can't go. She can't go in the pool. She can't go in the daycare area. She can't go. So they don't want anybody who shits their pants anywhere near anywhere near any of the common areas. For some reason, I don't know.
Awfully picky.
Yeah, it seems very picky, but
that must be a new COVID rule or something.
Yeah, yeah, I think these
COVID's ruined everything.
COVID ruined everything. But yeah, so I'm trying to look at stuff that they'll have fun doing. I'm trying not to take on that responsibility of they have to have a good time. You know what I mean? You can fall into a trap where you're like
pressure.
If they don't have a good time, then it's on me, and I did something wrong. And it's like I think the healthiest thing is it's great that they're here. We'll spend time together, and then everyone can find we'll just have fun. And it doesn't if I'm not the best. And also I come here all the time. I come to Alaska so much. You would think I would know exactly what to do and who the tour guides are that are cool and take them on this. And honestly, it's starting from square one because I don't ever do any of the tourist shit. I go on the same 3 hikes every time. So we'll see.
You just hand Heidi the Switch controller. Well, here's pretty much what we do up here.
Let me get you up to date on where we are in Hyrule. This is Central. We've got.
By the way, how is that? Not to switch gears, but have you been playing it pretty heavy?
I'm playing it heavy. I'm at a point now though where I've done a lot of I'm afraid to go farther in the story part of it because I feel like I'm not caught up enough on the side stuff. So it's a lot of just and it's kind of my favorite thing to do anyway. The story is kind of my least favorite thing to do. It's a lot of just me wandering around, falling in. I'm constantly finding places I don't think I'm supposed to find yet, because it's
yeah.
They even say it in the game. They're like, "What are you doing here? Go back.
We're not ready.
You should probably go back over there and do some real shit before you come and bother me because you're not ready to do this." So
That's like in the first one when it's all cold and you don't have like the proper
Right.
garments yet, so you die by going that
They're
way.
trying to subtly suggest to you to like go do the work before you come over.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like riding around on my horse and looking around. So I'm doing a lot of that. But it's like I said, I would go on the on these threads on the internet and these kids, they just like build these, because you can build stuff. They build these like amazing things, you know. And I try to build the same thing, and it does not. And like you could build like a hover bike or something, right? And they put these fans together, and you stand on it. And you can like, I was like, oh, that looks so cool. So I tried to build it, and it just immediately goes sideways and right it off a cliff, and I die. You know, and you're like, oh, you like have to be an actual engineer or something to do this.
Do you? It is a danger. I'm scared to ask this, but do you like it better than the
Yeah, I
Breath of
do.
the Wild?
I think there's
You
just,
do.
it's like you said, there's more to do. There's like, I don't want to like spoil anything for you, so I'm not going to say, but like there's just more places and ways to do stuff. So it's like
Cool.
more expansive, I guess. I don't know. But
Well, you know what? Hopefully, next time we record, hopefully I'll have it in my hand because I know this comes out. This is coming out right after Father's Day, but we're recording it prior to Father's Day, so hoping I get
are
it.
you, wait, did you drop some hints? How did that work?
Oh yeah, I didn't drop hints. I told Edie, hey, go tell mom this is what I want.
Oh, okay. Watch, I man, part of me really wants you to get it so we can talk about it, but part of me really hopes you just get like a tie.
Well, if I get a tie, then Johnny's going to Target Father's Day afternoon with his own credit card.
You're like, I don't think this tie is the right size for me. I'm gonna go exchange it for a longer tie. Can I have the receipt?
I'm gonna go exchange it for a better gift.
Yeah. Uh, well, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Because I want to talk about it with you. So I hope you get it soon.
Do we want to do sports talk briefly?
I'd love to. I'm always down to do.
So I have a sports. Okay, well, first of all, I watched the last 2 minutes. Are you aware that the Denver Nuggets are the champions?
Yes, I am. Dude, you watched the last 2 minutes?
Yeah,
That's so funny
that
because
was all I wanted.
I watched the first, hour and a half, and literally, I'm because it was on, they get it on the ship here, and I had to go on stage. Like my show started with like 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Oh wow.
So I'm literally like, as I'm walking up, like, well, that was a big waste of my time. Like just watching that whole game. I knew it might happen, but then I was just kind of hoping like one team would be up enough where at least I'd know the result. But it came down to the wire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so funny because I was like out on a walk and I was on the phone with my brother and he was watching it while I'm on a walk and he kept just like being like, oh, and he has like a back injury because he was in that car accident. So I thought he was like pulling his muscles because it sounded like he was like, because he'll do that. And I was like,
yeah.
oh, what is it? And he's like, oh, you should see, oh, that tall guy just totally missed a shot. And I was like, oh, jeez.
Wait,
But
did
I
he
watched,
say,
you know what's
wait,
funny?
wait. Did he say that tall guy, or is this just you
Yes.
remembering
Yes, because
any of
this
the
is my
names?
brother Scott, who knows sports equally or less than me.
Ooh, that tall guy. Ooh, another tall guy. Hey, that tall guy just blocked that tall guy. Man, these guys are all tall. The
I
worst,
wish
the
I
worst
wish I
play-by-play
remember what
announcer of all time.
he said something about like he hopes I can't remember what team it was, but he was like, "Oh, they just seem like they're just like cool looking guys." So I hope they win. I was like, "What? What do you mean?"
All
But I can't remember
cool.
what he
They
said.
all play in the NBA. They're all cool.
They're
Uh,
all very.
so you watched the last 2 minutes. Did you, before I ask you a question, did you have a takeaway or a impression or anything?
No, one thing I did think was funny, if you didn't see, was that like with four, I don't know how many seconds it was, but a guy took who lost though. So Miami Heat lost, or he shot a 3-pointer with like 6 or 7 seconds left, and it missed. And right when it missed, he reached out to shake the hand of the guy guarding him. But everybody, the ball was still in play. So they like got someone got the rebound and ran down. And then there was, one more play, and then the buzzer went, and then everyone was shaking hands. I just thought it was so funny that he was just like, "Hey, good game," but they're like, it's not over.
If I don't make it, it's over. I don't want to be a
Yeah,
part of anybody else making the basket.
but I will tell you this, and it's true. I had never heard of the Denver Nuggets before my daughter got her NBA basketball bed sheets. Is that a new team? How long have the Nuggets been around?
Oh, only about 40 years.
For real?
Yeah.
I assume they've never ever won, right?
No, that is true. That they're sort of a tortured franchise. They've never, I don't think they've even ever been to the finals. So they don't have a lot of. Carmelo Anthony was the big Nugget player when he was drafted, and
Does he have his own line of like subsidiary of Jordans, like the Carmelo
I'm sure, yeah,
Jordan?
I think he's a Nike guy, so that makes sense.
I know that name.
So funny your
That's
access
from
point.
Jordan.
Your two access points for sports are are um, are shoes, just
Yep.
like just Jordans, and then your daughter's bed sheets. Two ways in to the NBA.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah, but what I wanted to tell you is I didn't get to see the last 2 minutes of the game, but all the videos I saw when I got some service today was of the celebration, and this Jokic,
Oh, I didn't see any
the
of that.
Serbian guy who plays for the Nuggets, he's like their star player, and he's like the MVP of the league the last couple of years. He's a great player, and
Okay.
but they showed, how in the locker room everybody goes crazy when you win the championship, and they're spraying champagne, they're shaking it up and spraying each other, and they're like,
Yeah.
can't wait to go to the parade. But he had the like most anticlimactic. Everybody was. It's not my opinion. I mean, everybody else was saying this, and I finally saw the video. Look up Jokic champagne. He's literally doing it off in a corner by himself, and it looks like somebody like an extra who's not being paid, and he's just being told he has to do it. And so he just has the bottle of champagne, just like, and then he's just sort of like doing it, like totally mailing it in, and you can tell. And then he had all these other comments where he just wants to go home. It's almost like he was excited they won because they didn't have to play any more games, and he can just go home now. Like it's like he wasn't happy they won a champ. And I was like, man, Johnny, this should be Johnny's favorite player. Like me too. Like just the idea of like
Oh, that's funny.
we can just go home. I don't have to go back and do this all again. That's worth celebrating.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I will have to look that up.
Yeah, look up Jokic celebrating. It's very, very funny.
It's Jokich. Is that right?
Jokic, yeah.
Yeah,
Nikola.
because my brother kept saying, "Oh yeah, this Ukrainian guy Jokic."
Yeah, I think he's Serbian. I know he's Serbian because Novak Djokovic, how do you say it? The
Yeah.
tennis player he's won everything, he's also Serbian. So this like tiny country is dominating two of the major sports in the world.
Wow.
You know what I mean? There you go.
There you go. Watch
European
out for them Serbs.
Serbs are taking over.
So this is my other sports talk thing. Because I was Duncan had a game. Oof, they got clobbered 18-1. They made the switch where there's no more when you get four balls. If it's bases loaded and you walk, they used to be where it would be coach pitch, like soft toss right next to you. But they switched that. So now you can walk runs in. And so that just, killed us. And you can steal bases now. So that, we
Okay.
got destroyed. But this is my question. What would happen in the major league if you hit a foul ball that went straight up and it's coming down and the catcher wants to catch it? Like, what if the batter's in the way? Like, can he just stand there on purpose and just like be in the way so that the catcher can't catch it?
No, I think there's batter interference on that, or there's like runner
But what if
interference.
he doesn't move? What if he just like holds his
I
post
don't
swing
think you
pose?
have. I don't think you. It's not like you have a right to the like. It's not like a stand your ground law or something where you have the right to just, hey, I was here. I think you have to make an
Do you
effort.
literally have to like get out of the way so he can
Pretty
fuck you?
sure. I'm pretty sure. At least you have to. I'm sure there's like some. I think there's like unwritten rules in baseball. So like, you'd probably be like, it would not be cool if you intentionally. But I think even like there are written rules where you probably have to get out of the way. There might be some gamesmanship where you like look like you're trying to get out of the way, but not quite. You're just trying to distract them or just do the least amount possible so you could make a claim that you're getting out of your way. But that's
Yeah.
a good question. That's how
I mean, this
baseball
is just
enforces everything. Is they call it an unwritten rule, and then if you don't do what they say, they just throw the ball as hard as they can at you the next time you're at bat. That's how they enforce all their little rules, which would work for me. I would never violate any of the baseball unwritten rules because that sounds horrible.
I mean, that's why I didn't like playing baseball because I was scared of getting hit. So that would work for me for sure.
Yeah, I never played. I
Can
did
can
not.
you
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
you never what?
I never played baseball past the coach pitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Most
Um,
mostly because I think my parents were embarrassed. They suck too bad. So they're like, hey, you know what's cool? Piano lessons. Hey, what if you
you look like a piano guy.
went to drama school?
Yeah. Can I? Because I was. This was like before playing. This is when I was really little, and I didn't realize you tag them. Like, what would happen in the Major League MLB? That's what I was trying to think of. The MLB.
Nailed it.
If like you're supposed to tag them, can you throw the ball at the runner? Like, are they out even though you're not supposed to do that?
No,
You have to have
it's
the
not.
ball in.
It's not. It'd be a great sport though. just, just if there was no. I kind of wish there was no like tagging them out or touching the base to get them out. Like you literally had to just peg the runner with the ball to get them out. That would be a better sport.
I think that's what I thought it was because I thought it was like when you tag the runner, you have to tag them with the ball. So it
I
only
think,
made sense to be
yeah,
able to
that if
throw
you
the
could
ball
just
correctly.
clean them, just like throw
Yeah.
it at them. Yeah, but I think the where that would happen, that probably like theoretically could happen because if they determine you're running in the base paths in a way to like intentionally disrupt the
So
throw,
they could play like, oh, he ran into it.
right, then they could call you out for like getting in the way of the throw. So you have to kind of like have an honest commitment to staying within the baselines.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think
Huh.
you're now your questions, which used to be so simple and hilariously stupid and very easy to answer, are getting more sophisticated and harder. You're gonna
Yeah.
reach
I'm
my.
learning.
We're
I'm
already at
learning.
the top of my baseball expertise. So if we go much past this, there's gonna be stuff I don't know.
I don't think we will go much past this.
Well, it'll depend on your
Yeah.
kids' baseball careers, I assume.
You got any discussion points you want to bring up?
Well, okay, I do have one discussion point. So I'm on this godforsaken ship again, whatever, doing what I have to do.
Which one is it?
The bliss, it's just pure bliss.
Oh,
Yeah, you.
yeah.
And cutbacks with COVID and everything. They no longer have hosts on the ship, and they no longer have even anyone to introduce you. So they literally, it's like, do you ever remember those like old Yoder gigs where they didn't trust a host to do, like, it was just some one nighter and it's probably just a feature and a headliner. So then rather than trust the venue to do a introduction, they just had a pre-taped thing, and I was like, and
Yeah.
now give it up for your host and MC.
The best is when it's like pre-recorded and you can
Right.
hear, you can do better than
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. the ghost could hear that the machine knew that people weren't clapping loud enough. So they've done that now, fleet wide. So apparently they had some problem with intros, and so now every comedy club has except they have no comedy experience. So literally, the introduction was like this, like, "Hey everyone, welcome to Levity Live Comedy, the best comedy club at sea. As a reminder," and then the music's playing underneath. You're like, okay, maybe this will be fine. As a reminder, no photography or videoing of any kind during the show. Now, sit back and relax. And that was it. So everyone's just sitting there. Everyone's just sitting there, like, doing nothing.
And sitting there and relaxing.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the sound guy like, now? I go up now? And he's like, that's the thing. I pressed the button. I don't know what you want me to do. And so I go walk up on stage. Oh, no. And everyone's staring at me like, are you the guy? Or are you the guy who brings out the actual guy?
Yeah. Who's so I decided to like go,
I'm Andrew. I'm the comedian. Normally people have told you that by now, but I guess we're doing a thing where no one's willing to say that. So I was like, cannot stand. This is not going to work. Like, it's too awkward. It's too weird. So the next show, I was like, I'll just introduce myself from the back mic. Yeah. Right. And you've probably had to do that before. I mean, maybe at a corporate gig and there's too many cowards, or a college and no one wants to go on stage, bring you up. So you're like, you know what? I'll just bring myself up. And there's two ways to do it. You literally could do it where you actually try to trick them, where you change your voice, and then you just go there and you never acknowledge that you were the person introducing you. Or you just have fun with it and you make it clear that you were introducing yourself, and you show some humility and kind of make fun of yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did the latter, not to great effect. Still, people I made fun of it, and people were still, I think, like, yeah, we get the joke, but it's very sad. I understand that you're joking, but why don't you just have someone introduce you? Is this what life has come to? Yeah. And then the third time, the other comedian was just happening to be at this guy named DJ Cooch. Is the other comedian, the LA guy, nice guy, but he's actually a DJ as well. He also DJs, as evidenced by his name, DJ Cooch. And so
he DJs on the ship and does comedy?
No, he DJs back home. He probably gets more money doing that than home. So anyway, he's like, I'll do your intro, right? So I was like, cool. That's perfect. Easy. One less thing to do. But there's only one mic, right? So he's got the mic backstage and he introduces me, and I go on stage not thinking like he has the mic, and he left it out for him. He knew I needed it, so he left it down. But I went on stage as he was introducing me, and then I get up there and there's no mic, and I literally just have to get off stage, and then I'm like looking for him and he's looking for me. We're like going in circles. It's like the whole thing is just a huge disaster. So I've had not one clean start to any of these shows. Every show has been like a 3-minute hole to dig out of because of these awful introductions.
That's terrible. Was that how it's always been since COVID, since this change?
No.
Like, didn't it used to be like the two headliners would introduce each other?
Well, I don't like that either, because it requires me to be at all the shows. So what they were doing was, when you'd get on the ship, somebody, not the cruise director, but somebody lower than that would record an intro for you. They would just say, you're a comedian, and usually they wouldn't have any of your credits. They would ask for your credits and then not use them or whatever. But at least it would just be some introduction and then your name at the end. And then you would get brought up to applause. It was a recording, but at least it was your name. But apparently that was too much. We can't be bothered. And so now this is the solution. So I don't know. I'm gonna write a gentle email, I think, of like, this is like, pretty embarrassing. Like, for levity, as a brand, you guys are a nationwide thing. Is this what you want being put out there? And then if it is, at least let me write you a standardized intro that's closer to the Yoder one of days of old, where at least you're like ending on a thing where people are at least clapping as this no name anonymous headliner walks onto the stage.
That's like, yeah, that sounds like it's just like it's ending on, all right, are you guys ready for a good time? Okay, go.
Yeah,
What's your cue?
it's all and by the way, why sit back and relax? I don't want them relaxed. I want them on
Right,
the
yeah.
edge of their seat. Tension. You know what I mean? That's comedy, breaking tension.
Yeah.
I don't want them like leaning back, clamped
Sit back, relax,
out.
close your eyes, imagine yourself in a better place.
It's not a massage.
Right.
Go ahead, breathe deep, and really close your eyes and imagine you're in a gentle. There's a gentle breeze. So,
Imagine you're on vacation on a cruise ship.
and let the waves just rock you to sleep as your comedian dies on stage. It's
Oh
just
God, that's awful.
it's just an example of like there's so many layers of bureaucracy, and I'm sure people can relate to this in other jobs or other things you can do, but like when it's this big of an organization, there's like 18
Yeah.
steps between the person who had the idea and then the people who actually have to implement the idea, and no one's telling anyone else how awful it is.
Oh
So it is,
yeah.
part of me just wants to go, hey man, whatever, this is a paycheck, I don't give a shit at these shows. You know what I mean? It's not my job.
Yeah.
But the other part of me is like, this is so bad, I gotta say something, even if it helps other comics out a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so bad.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Anyway, that was my discussion point. Me just
That's
complaining.
brutal.
All right. Do you have a topic?
Man.
We should back each other up.
I do. All right. Yeah, so this is what I need a topic with, a backup on. I thought of this. I think that does China have a rule
Oh
where you
God.
can only have so many kids? Or you can like have a limit of how many kids you can have?
I think they used to and then got rid of that because now it was
Oh,
like
well, see,
too
I
effective.
think we got to I think that I think they had it right. And I think that couples should only be able to have a maximum of 2 kids. That way you're replacing yourself and your spouse to control overpopulation. And I know it's like, oh, that's not fair because I'm one of 7, and it was great, very close with my brothers and sisters, love them all. Felt like that was great. That was the best experience. I'm very lucky, but tough shit. Things change, times change. Like, you know, people used to like to sit on their dad's lap when he would drive around town. You can't do that anymore. So, and you dealt with it, So now this is the new rule. Oh man, we used to be able to have as many kids as we want, but now you can have 2, so that you're replacing the 2 people that made the kids.
Okay. I have some
I
questions.
haven't thought about this. I haven't thought about all the, well, what if you break up or you get remarried? I haven't thought about that. So,
Right.
but what's your questions?
You have 3 kids.
Yes, I got in. Yeah, see, they haven't made the rule yet,
Oh,
so I got in under the wire.
seems a little convenient
Yeah.
that you don't have to kill one of your kids,
What?
but everybody
Oh
else.
no, 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 no! I'm grandfathered in. I'm
Oh, okay.
grandfathered in.
Your father did.
Yeah, yeah, I'm fathered in.
Uh,
Yeah.
I also think I know, like, so what prompted your worries about overpopulation?
Well, I really needed a topic, and I just was really scraping the bottom of the barrel. I don't know if overpopulation really is a big issue, but it seemed like a motivator for this type of topic.
Sure. Yeah. I think because I actually think the concerns of a lot of like economists or smart people is the opposite, that the birth rates are dropping
Too
dramatically
low.
and it's too low, and
Oh, is
we're
that
not
right?
going to have
Is
enough
that right?
people to do everything that we need in the
All right,
future.
I'm going to pivot. I want to pivot. You have to do at least, you have to have at least, if you get married, you have to have at least two. You have to at least replace yourself and then put more out there. if, if that's quick pivot.
Oh my God. I've never had, that is a record for this show. No one has ever given up on their point of views faster. I mean, literally the opposite. Not just that there shouldn't be a rule about child, we're going to force you to actually have kids rather than not have kids. That's
Right.
funny you bring this up today. I don't know if I can back you up just knowing how little conviction you have yourself.
That's
But
fair. That's fair.
uh, it's funny you bring this up today because Heidi and I talked on the phone, and she literally was like, she's like really been planning her 40th birthday. I think because she turns 39 in well, when this comes out, she'll turn 39, and so she's really like,
Oh, exciting.
yeah, June 19th. So she's really been thinking about her 40. She's like thinking ahead to her 40th already. And that's like more common, I think, with our generation. Like 40th birthdays are like this big deal. You know, you go all out and people go on vacations or do like bucket
Yeah.
list type things. Did you do anything for your crazy for
No.
your 40th?
I'm pretty sure it's very anticlimactic. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like I don't think we talked about this, but I remember when I was a kid, my parents would have friends or whatever, or maybe it was their 40th birthday, but you'd get like a black cake and it would say RIP on everything and black balloons
Yeah.
over the hill and hey, you're about to die. And that was like the big 40th birthday bash. Like I feel like our generation's like, no. We're way more afraid of death. Like we're gonna go to Jamaica
Yeah.
and blow all our money
Yeah.
and pretend we're gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but then what she said, so I think she's been thinking about turning 40, and then she was like, but if we were gonna have another kid, we would probably have to do it, now or like start doing it now. And I was like, all right, I'll
Ah.
stop pulling out, whatever. But then uh
Yes, ma'am.
do my duty.
Wife's orders.
Uh but that was the first time I think because I think Ginger, like when Ginger was born, it was very like with between COVID and she had like a pretty tough pregnancy and everything.
Yeah.
It was seemed one and done at the time. It seemed like this is great. This was she's amazing, Ginger, but we're lucky. Let's just like why risk another, you know, disaster or
Yeah. Why
beginnings of a
why
disaster.
should the Slaters risk causing another pandemic across the
Right,
world?
exactly. Exactly. That would be hilarious if she's like got pregnant and then there's like, oh boy, swine flu's back and it's worse than ever. You're like, God damn it.
Oh
Every
man.
time.
Did did you have you guys like aside from right after Ginger was born, like did you guys talk about it much before this time she brought it up? Or
Not
not really?
no, not a lot. I think we kind of always were like, uh, you know, if it happened, it wouldn't be like we just weren't trying for it. And I think we're both very comfortable with the idea of if we only had
Yeah.
one, it would be fine. It's not
But also but you'd also be fine if you did
yeah,
find out.
but we're not like
Right.
actively. I don't know how
Right.
graphic I'm gonna get here,
Yeah,
but
see
we're not.
that's how Phoebe was made. That mindset that you're currently discussing or
Yeah,
describing.
you didn't have
You're
a
like, all right, we could be done. We'd like to have another, but we don't want to try, but we're not going to do anything to prevent it.
right.
And then it was like, oh fuck, we are having another one. Because we just weren't, it was like the whole
Yeah,
idea of starting over because Duncan was he's 8 now and she's yeah, so he was, over 4. And that's I mean, that's a gap. That's a start over
yeah.
point.
It was the same thing with my brothers and I. Had 3 kids. I had my older brother's 2 years older. My younger brother's 5 years younger than I am.
Mhm.
And I was a like legendarily horrible kid, like a very tough child to parent. And so I think my parents were done. They were like, we are out of the
Oh.
baby game. And then Mark was sort of like,
How were you a tough child?
oh, just like a brat, shitty, argued about everything, hated everything, never ate any, like demanded, different food. All that. I remember being like a really picky eater, complained about every like I told you about how they
Yeah.
took us to the not the Grand Canyon, but the Yellowstone, and I just bitched and moaned the whole time, and and then they go, "Hey!" Finally, they lost it. I was like, "Oh, these stinky geysers, this sucks," And finally, so they go, "Hey, we paid a lot for this trip. You should enjoy it." I was like, "We paid for this? We could be at Disneyland right now? Like, what are you crazy? Yeah,
You idiots.
morons! You should
Oh
be paying
yeah.
us." These stinky geysers.
God, kids, that's so true though. Like what you're describing, like, there's this kids can really, I mean, Ginger's not there yet, but like Duncan and Edie, like complaining about
Yes,
things that you put so much effort, spent so much money, and it's just like you ungrateful fucking
I know.
asshole.
I know. And I remember I have strong memories of me being that. Like I actually think back and it's like, and I'm trying to like put myself in that position. And it's like, well, could you just not control yourself? Like it's just like you had no filter between that awful part of your reactions in your brain and your mouth, and you just, or were you just,
Yeah.
you thought about it and you're like, nah, I'm gonna say something, fuck this. Like this is bullshit. I shouldn't have to practice my piano or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, Ginger's not at that age. Ginger's still very easy and like sweet and fun, and she doesn't know any better. She doesn't know to complain. I mean, she throws tantrums and won't eat her food all the time, but
Sure.
that's just like pretty easy to deal with. But I guess that's what scares me
Yeah.
about having another kid too. Is like she's healthy, she's got all her fingers and toes. She seems like she's developing on time and schedule. So everything's good. I'm like, man, if you
Yeah.
have another kid, that's just rolling the dice that you could have some
I know.
horrible
Yeah.
kid. Because I was a pretty horrible kid apparently.
Yeah.
But
It's
look how
funny
it
though,
turned
like
out.
exactly that's what I was gonna say. Like you're giving me hope. Like, oh, so Duncan will eventually eat healthy, right? Because you eat
Yeah,
healthy.
one day he'll
Yeah.
be. Yeah, I did not eat like any food that wasn't pizza, hamburger, hot dog. I mean, you are one to talk, but I did not eat.
I know that's why I'm like, oh, we're
Yeah.
fucked. But now I see you and I'm like, oh, okay, there's hope.
No, but I something clicked in like high school. I swear to God. Like I remember I had like just like really greasy Chinese food, which is not obviously any sort of uh most people would eat that. But for me, that was a huge leap. Like I would never have touched any kind of Chinese food before that. And
Yeah.
somehow that just started something, and then it was just like I called it my food revolution. I just literally try anything. I like made a point to like try all these foods I've never tried before. And now I am like, there's very pretty adventurous eater. There's nothing I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
So there's hope.
Wow.
There's hope for the picky eaters out there.
You ever see those like videos on like, I don't know, Instagram or whatever, stories of like, people like TED Talks or whatever, where they're like, all right, I want you to imagine you're 95 years old, you're on your death, you're surrounded by your family, and you're gonna die. This is it. And you have the ability. You've led a good life, you're surrounded by loved ones, and you have the ability to go back in time for one day and relive, being younger and being surrounded by your kids when they're young, and you come back to this day that you're living now, doesn't that change your perspective? And like I've seen the videos and because I've like done that before. Like sometimes I will do that. I'll be like, I know that I'm gonna miss these days and like yearn for where I'm at now. And I'm like, and but it only works for like 20 seconds. And then they do some, like it's like it gives you a little bit of a grace period, but then they do something you're not expecting. Like
I know.
you have to try so hard to stay in that zone. It's so easy to get shaken out.
I know. I was literally wrote in my notebook about this because I've seen the exact same videos. I think they target parents, with all that, the algorithm targets you with all that stuff. And I was like, isn't there enough pressure on raising kids? Like you have to do all this stuff for them. You can screw them up in like 1,000 different ways. You have to provide for them. Now we also have to be like enjoying every second, or else you should feel guilty about that. Isn't it enough that we just
Right.
do it? And the other thing is, sure, if you had a time machine when you're on your deathbed, you're probably going back in time. But there's a lot of times you would go to and be happy to get out of being 95. You could go back to being 16. You could go back to being 22. Like it's like, yeah, you would want to go spend that time with your kids, but like you might not pick that day. You know what I mean?
Right.
you know,
Exactly. Yeah, you might have picked
better day.
another week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I would be like, yeah, I'm not going to pick that time. Like there was shit all over the floor, and my daughter's screaming at me because I
Yeah.
got her favorite ice cream or whatever. I might pick, the day we went to Disneyland and everyone was happy, and.
Right. Yeah, I
Uh,
wouldn't pick the yeah, and plus when you're in your deathbed, you're not going to be like, okay, no, I'm not going to go back to that date because I was fucking stressed out about my taxes and credit card bill.
yeah,
It's like you're forgetting all the shit that makes today what it is.
and you put when you think that's the same reason why people have kids again is because when like 2 months after you have a baby, you're like, I'm never fucking doing this again. You're like, this is so hard. I can't do it. I can't sleep. This is, how would you?
Yep.
And then by the time you get like Ginger's two, just like clockwork, we're the stereotype of all these people. You forget. You look back with rose-colored glasses, and you forget the
Yep.
hard stuff, and you only remember the good stuff, and then you fall for that trap again, and you have
Yeah.
another baby, right? And then you do it, and it's all worth it in the end, and it's all good. Blah blah blah. So when you're 95, I'm sure you've forgotten all the bad. Of course, you're going to go back and spend time with your kids because you're like, it was great. You're not thinking about, and you'd probably be like halfway through that day and be like, you know what, just get me back to that bed with that morphine and the free food and nobody yelling at me.
Yeah, the grass is always greener.
Yeah, everyone's being nice to me and holding my hand gently. It's actually kind of nice. They put on my favorite show.
Oh yeah. You start to miss it like, oh fuck. I made a horrible error. I gotta live through all this shit. Oh my
Because
God.
I bet you too, if you went to like on one of the hardest parenting days, whenever that is, the hardest parenting day you've ever had, you can think of. And I was like, hey, here's a time machine. You want to go and spend one day as a 90-year-old dying? You might take the break. You might go, yeah, I'll skip today and just spend an afternoon in a soft bed playing Zelda by myself.
Yeah. Rolling my eyes every time a visitor comes in. Ah, I guess I gotta pause this. Jesus.
Here,
You got relatives visiting, and you're like, I only have so much time, and I'm at Calamity Ganon, and
they're gonna really keep increasing my morphine, and I don't know if I'll have enough energy to keep Ganon. If you, my last words can be, can you just go wait in the waiting room for me to die? Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, no, I love you too. Okay,
I love you
good
too.
to see you.
That's great. Thanks for stopping. No, the flowers are amazing. That's you shouldn't have. Goodbye. Yeah, I've thought about a lot about that because I've seen those exact videos and mostly my takeaway is like it's enough pressure. You know, I don't need to be thinking about how I'm not present and enjoying every second. By the way, as I'm watching a video on Instagram telling me I should be more in the moment and loving my life more.
Right.
By the way,
Yeah.
I'm an hour and a half scrolling to my phone before I found this video. So who are you really? It's sort of hypocritical.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, all right. So you got a topic? What do
I'll
you
go
need
quick.
backup on?
I'll go quick. So like we're both like frequent flyers, you know, and the goal is always you're trying to get upgraded first class any chance you get. I know I'm a little more savvy about it than you. You don't you're
I'm
not,
the Southwest kid who's in Group A.
I'm not exactly in your sandbox here, but a lot of comedians, especially these ship guys, you know, they
Yeah.
love trying to angle for upgrades and have the credit card matched with the right point system and airline and all that, right? So I do my best with
Yeah.
that because it's nice, it's great, it's so much better flying. Even in whatever their little priority version is better than just the back of the plane, you know.
Yeah.
But some people take it to a level that, and I don't know why this bothers me, but they have you heard of this? This is a big thing. Guys will bring gifts for flight attendants on the plane. In fact,
Oh my
I
God.
know my friend Corey Michaelis does this, and this guy I'm working with, DJ Cooch, he did that.
Hmm.
He actually bragged to us. He's like, "Yeah, I flew. I think it was on Delta. He's a Delta guy. He's like, I brought Starbucks cards for the flight attendants. So he's like, here you go, ladies. You know, this is for you. I know you're working hard and just all this bullshit." And then he's like, and then I got upgraded. I was like, that's not. You're not being nice. You just bribed them.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
oh yeah, you know they work hard. And it's like, well, even if they were the laziest pieces of shit on the planet Earth, you would still bring them the Starbucks cards because you just want to get upgraded. So I
Oh
think,
my God. Well, honestly, oof, I'm glad you said that they were doing that to try to. I thought you were saying like they're in their seat, they're already on the plane, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you got my water? Here, have a gift card." And then I was gonna be like, "They're fucking idiots,
yeah, no.
giving
It's
it away."
obviously it's as you walk on the plane, it's a move, and I think if you fly like the same route over and over again,
Yeah.
you start to see them, and you want to be remembered. You want to be a face, you know. But it's kind of
Yeah.
it's too much. It's too desperate or needy. I don't like it. It's like I believe in tipping, tip big. That's standard
Yeah.
practice. But I do not believe in this gift thing. And I don't like it when people do it for their agents. I know people do like Christmas Christmas gifts for agents and just this is business. Take that out of it, you know? And it's
Can I
corrupt.
just add in? I totally agree. I totally agree. I have made that mistake because you have a good year, you get gift cards, and then the next year you
Yeah,
feel like a fucking asshole because there's no gift card this year. It's like,
I know. I know.
oh,
I've done that. I've done that. I've made the mistake myself. And then I used to do it for like my college agent and then a couple bookers, the person at Levity, a couple people, because I'm like, they
yeah,
got me a lot of work this year. But you're right. If I feel like fuck, I had a shitty year and these people didn't get me shit, guess what? I turn into the Grinch at Christmas time and nobody gets nothing. And they're
yeah.
probably I doubt they notice because they're probably getting bombarded with one time Heidi, she had a commercial agent in LA and someone got in her ear that you have to do gifts. You didn't get a gift. So she got like, oh my God, I didn't get him anything. And she actually went into I think she brought flowers or some useless. And she brought flowers
Yeah.
and she literally could not walk into the office without having to step over fruit baskets and chocolate boxes
Oh my
and all the horse shit from these desperate actors thinking they're gonna like seal a relationship with their agency with this $20 C's candy or whatever.
God.
So it's
Oh.
just it's sad to me. So just get the gifts out. There should be a rule ban gift giving to flight attendants. I would start there. I think it's slimy. I don't like it. Get rid of it.
I did not know that was a thing with flight attendants. So of course I'll back you up. Yeah, you're just setting a precedent, and we don't need more,
No. I mean, it's cool.
expectations from us.
Here's what I'll say, because people are like, "Oh, Andrew, that sucks. Like, you're not letting people give someone a gift." And I bet the flight attendants love it. So why are you?
Of course they do.
How about this? You're allowed to give presents to flight attendants. How about this? You're totally allowed. You can give them the most lavish gift they've ever gotten. But if you give them a gift, your ass is in the seat that you bought. No upgrades. So let's see how altruistic these people are. Let's see if you're still bringing the chocolates if you know that you're not getting upgraded. How about that?
Yeah, give them the gift as you're getting off the plane.
Yes. How about that? No, even that doesn't work, because then they might remember and then upgrade you the next time. You can't give the gift, you cannot be upgraded. That's my rule.
Have you ever recognized?
No, but
flight attendant?
I don't recognize my neighbors. I mean, Heidi makes fun of me all the time. She's like, I'm like, who's that? She's like, that's Jennifer. She's lived next door for 6 years. What is wrong?
Oh God. You gotta remind me of a post-show story. A very similar situation, but it's for post-show.
Okay, good. Oh,
Patreon only.
Well, that's a good enough tease as it is, because I'm burning through Wi-Fi here. So why don't we?
All right, yeah, let's. I think we did it. I think we
did it. Let's plug some shows. I'll be in Montana in July. I'm going to look at my calendar right now. July. Oh God damn it! 7th and 8th. The 7th in Bozeman, really cool club called Last Best Comedy, and then the 8th, the Roxy Theater in Missoula.
Nice.
And
I will be
on my way.
What's that?
I was just saying, send people my way. I know not that many people live in Montana, but if you know Montana people, send them my way.
Okay, I'll be in Prior Lake, just outside of Minneapolis, on July 22nd, and Comedy on Stage July 27th.
All right.
So that's what I'll play.
Sweet. All right.
Everybody,
we did it. Join the Patreon for post-show banner, which we're about to do right now. And that's it. Thank you for listening to
The Cavalry.